Welcome to Western Perspective, I'm Grace Harrington. Western Australia's international trading opportunities are revving up again, with the Malaysian government's trade delegates arriving in Perth this week in search of import and export opportunities. For local businesses, the news of the delegation's arrival was music to their ears, as the visit brought much potential for future business opportunities. The trade group visited several businesses throughout the week, including Subiaco's new multicultural supermarket, the MCQ Pavilion Fresh Market concept store. We explore what the future holds for trade synergy and how it will benefit the WA economy.
After several years of international trade disruptions due to the pandemic, WA's local businesses are at the forefront of gaining international trade opportunities with the Malaysian government trade delegates from Sabah. This week, the delegates have visited several businesses, including Perth's multicultural supermarket chain, to understand their operations, products and produce in order to explore potential food export and import opportunities. As trade activities continue to grow in the region, local business associations are assisting and facilitating tours to boost WA's local economy. The Australian-Malaysian Business Chamber Vice President Bernard Cha sees potential synergies between both countries' wants and needs.
The main goal is for the Chamber is to have bilateral trade between both countries. Part of this is to introduce them to successful WA businesses. They're going around all the different business to have a look at their operations, and where they see some synergy between both countries, where they look at the produce here, and even that encourages bilateral trade, they would like to meet these businesses. And so with meeting Hugh from MCQ, they are a prominent WA supermarket business. We see there's potential alignment between what they do in the Sabah, the business requirements there, as well as the business here.
The delegates also visited WA's farms as his organisation encouraged trade activities and lift the veil on the food source of Perth's local supermarkets. The MCQ supermarket group has several stores across the Perth area, with the company differentiate itself by focusing the store's community reputation as an international supermarket, with goods and products from countries as far as India, Pakistan and Sri Lanka. MCQ's strong multicultural reputation is vital as it attracts the Malaysian delegation's interest in trade. Hieu Yun is the legal counsel for the MCQ group and sees the opportunity for MCQ to host the delegation as extremely valuable.
Look, the outcome that we like today is for obviously members of the delegation to take back to Malaysia what they are seeing today and what they have felt with their hands and what they have smelled with their senses and also what they have tasted. So we have given the Malaysian delegation members an opportunity to actually taste some of the products, some of the produce here, and the response has been quite positive. So we want to, impart some of those experiences so that, they go back and they pass that on to their businesses over there and perhaps see if there's any opportunities there that, that we could do some cooperation between the two markets.
While nothing is set in stone yet, the visit from the Malaysian delegation has been a great success and suggests a bright future for future import and export opportunities.
That was our exclusive report on the visit from the Malaysian trade delegates. You can read more of our weekly premium stories now on the WAMN Extra News Club, supporting independent local news and keeping democracy strong. And now, here's Dr. Andrew Miller with his weekly medical and news commentary.
Hi, thanks for your time. I was reflecting recently after seeing a friend who's very unwell and may not have long to live, how difficult those conversations can be and how it's very awkward sometimes for people to know what to do when you have a friend or a colleague or a family member who's in the situation of being very unwell. The key, of course, is to do two things. The first is to leave the power with them as far as deciding when and how to catch up and what things to talk about when you do. And secondly, to remain available, to not close off that friendship because it's all too difficult. Because in the midst of being very unwell, people sometimes just appreciate being able to catch up and talk, and often not be talking necessarily about the elephant in the room, the thing that's wrong with them. Now, that may not seem very deep and meaningful, but what is deep and meaningful is that you're prepared to continue that connection and you're prepared to show them how you care about them rather than necessarily have to talk about it. Sometimes in our nervousness we can kind of blurt out our own problems and our own emotional reaction to what the person who's unwell is going through. So if you can think beforehand maybe about how you'll want to approach it, prioritising them and how they're feeling about things, without prying and without pushing questions that they may not have the energy to answer at that time, then it's good if you can keep the focus on the other person and on their needs. They'll appreciate your sensitivity to the fact they may be tired, they may be in pain, they may not be themselves on a particular day, but you will still unconditionally reach out to them to try and remind them that you are a friend, and importantly that it's quality of life that matters. It's quality of friendships that are one of the most important things for all of us, and that there's really positive things you can do sometimes just by doing the silly stuff that all of us friends do, sitting around talking about things that don't matter so much, but in the midst of all of that, displaying that they matter more than anything else to you in that time.
That was Dr. Andrew Miller, and that's Western Perspective for this week. Until next Sunday evening, it's back to you, Ivan and Melly.
Thanks, Grace. And that's our weekly news and current affairs. We have the latest news on our website, wamnnews.com.au.
Don't forget to subscribe to the WAMN Extra News Club so we can continue our work in the community. Full details on wamnnews.com.au/news/extra. From Melly, Grace and Peter and myself, wish you good health, good night. See you next Sunday.
Thanks for being with us.